Under the Tree Chat.
Yep, we're live. Good morning.
It's Under the Tree Chat, where we meet every Monday,
It is. Good
Wednesday,
morning.
Friday, 7:15. We late again. Under the Tree Chat. Mel, how your weekend?
Good morning, Tony. I'm good.
Um, it's been an excellent weekend for me. A lovely day yesterday and a rest on Saturday. So I had a good weekend. Anyway, our show today is what? Can we get it right? We will get it right soon directly. Well, let me take on a topic. Could we get it right? Um, my 5 cents this morning in my current account of what's going on. Can JCNP get it right? They've been fighting for the last 2 years, and the Junkanoo Committee hasn't get it right. And so let me throw some ideas how they would have get it right. They would have get it right, and it would have been right, and they can still put it right. All the mumbling, jumbling. There's a few things they can get it right. To be a part of the GNC, this is what their rules should be. You should have every group should have the president, vice president, and a board, which they do, I believe. But I will stipulate the JMP. This is how every Junkanoo group must have election every 3 years. Every Junkanoo group should have election, and you only could serve 2 terms. See, that will solve a lot of problems the Junkanoo community having, because if they had that in place, the Valley Boys wouldn't be in the problem. See, I sit on the show and I say the JNPCP, whatever they name, because they're wasting the time. Um, they play around and want to be powerful and strong, but they never put their rules. They put these stupid rules that doesn't mean nothing. But if they had that one rule to be a part of the J and the Junkanoo Committee and the Junkanoo JCNP, you have to have elections every 3 years. And you only could have, see, and they'll say, well, you can't dictate to the group. Okay. And then let me refine this and get out of here. And then I would change the rules. This is what I would have done. I wouldn't have let too many members of the Junkanoo group vote. I would have made it a simple thing. I would have says your executives and the leaders of different areas of the Junkanoo group. So comprised of 30. See, if you let 50 and 200 people vote, that's crazy, because you just get the leaders in every, like, leader of the back line, leader, and you Junkanoo chairman and the Junkanoo committee, they can range it properly where it include certain amount of people, your leaders of your Junkanoo group, and that would have solved a lot of problems we're having now in these Junkanoo groups. And when you have one leader walk up and he says this and he says, and you can manipulate him, everything has to go back to that small little group that runs. I used to name the Valley Boys or the Run Saxon. One leader should speak, yes, but it should be collective, and that will solve a lot of the problems. And Junkanoo is in a mess. Anyhow, that's my 5 cents. Moving right along.
Okay, Tony, that's your passion topic.
Yep,
Junk.
Junkanoo. Oh, I love,
Yeah.
I love Junkanoo. I I love the culture because it includes majority of the men in the Bahamas, young men in the Bahamas. So it's a line of keeping the young men doing something positive.
Yeah,
And
bringing
then
out the best in the creative
right,
power,
and artists,
activity.
you don't have you don't have one artist. See what I like about Junkanoo, you have a creative line of artists. From 4 year old to 90 year old, and every year is craft is growing and it's changing, and so I love it. That's
Yeah.
why I fight about it. Anyway, moving right along.
Okay. Well, that's good. And bringing to the forum this morning the final segment focusing on prevention of obesity. And these two areas are basically how you're eating and when you're eating. So, the how is about eating and chewing your food slowly. And why is that? Many people are eating on the go. When you eat on the go, your body is not being properly nourished. You're in a rush. You're not focused on the food itself. So you're basically just going after a belly full. When you go after a belly full, you're also not eating the right foods. We keep talking about eating a balanced plate that includes all of the food groups. When you go to fast food restaurants, um, on the run, you just basically pick up something that's going to give you a belly full. You're not focusing on the quality or the ingredients. You're not focusing on the flavor. All you know is you're hungry and you want something to satisfy that hunger. But on the other hand, you have persons that are eating non-stop, eating because they're not eating properly. They're not having full meals, and within half an hour, 2 hours maximum, they're eating again. That irregularity in your consumption of food is adding to the volume of unused energy. Again, coupled with that is the fact that these persons are also living what is considered sedentary or inactive lives. They're not exercising, they're not going about making sure that their calorie intake matches their calorie output. And so, therefore, where there is an imbalance in the energy usage, you're going to have a buildup, and that is going to be stored in your body. So, two things you must focus on: making sure that when you eat a proper meal, one that is filling, and then you do not eat again at least for another 5 to 6 hours. Anything in between should only be water. And trust me, if you eat until you are full, monitoring the fact that you are full and that you have all of the essential ingredients, the fruits, the vegetables, your greens, your protein, and a little fat balanced in that meal, you will not be hungry again. Sometimes we miss the signal. When we feel hungry, here's a tip: drink water instead. And if in 10 minutes after drinking the water, you are able to eat again, then you know it is actual hunger. Otherwise, it's your body just simply asking for you to hydrate it. So there is so much more that needs to be understood. Unfortunately, we only have limited time here on our show, but I assure you, if you need more information on this, you can just hit me up right on our Facebook page. Um, or you can email us at underthetree242 gmail.com, and I would be more than happy to provide you with additional information for success as it relates to preventing and overcoming or reducing your state or risk for becoming obese. Thank you, Tony.
Morning again. So, Doc, we we having discussed this morning on the way we eat, how we eat. It's a whole crazy thing. What time we eat is a crazy thing, and so we don't get it right. Our topic today, we just can't get it right, and just how we run our lives, we don't get it right. But I could say this, from our last show, we talk about two men, two women dating one another or living together, whatever. And we somehow wouldn't get it right. Now, people will say, but I live with a man, I live with a woman. I got it right. That's what they say. You know, they'll say, well, first of all, I have rights to do what I want. I have rights to marry who I want. Okay. I have rights to date who I want. Um, so in their mind, they believe that's right. So it's not my or anybody's duty to tell them how to run their life. Agreed. Agreed. That's their world and that's their life and that's what it. But it also has so much effect on other people. That's the part we talk about getting it right. So if you if you eat a lot of sweet, it's the same thing if you're living with another man or another woman. Down the road, it will catch up with you. And then it becomes a problem on your family or a problem on your children. So that's why we say at early stage, me and you have the show today. So they can get it right before it become a problem. See, a woman go and drink alcohol and get drunk and fall down and get up and she tomorrow morning she goes to work and she talk about it. She says, well, I had a good time last night. I was drunk and this and that. But you're embarrassing all your family and friends, you're embarrassing your children, or you might get hit up by one fella and you ain't know. You know, but you can say, well, oh, this happened. Yeah, okay. And so we sit here on our show, try to help motivate and inspire for you don't get yourself down the road these problems. Diabetes, hypertension, cancer, all these things could be avoided because we don't get it right. Husband and wife breaking up could be avoided because we don't get it right. Our show is based on relationship, but we step into other waters now and then. We try to open it up, and as an as an as a kind of expert in relationship, and you an expert in health prevention, and all right. So we come together and try to pinpoint and iron out early signs that they don't become a problem. Being in relationship and talking about husband and wife, love is not just love. But if you love me, is we a lot of people love people and people don't even feel it or trouble start because my love or what I think is love ain't necessarily what you think is love. Some woman this is never can we get it right. This is what we can do to talk this morning. Some woman thinks about love is given me by showing me. So a man feels like what he get from you emotionally. I mean, touching and feeling and contact. That's his that's his way. And a woman. So right there, that's two different way to love. And so that in itself is a problem. How do you mash these two together in one relationship? Because 9 times out of 10, and I as a man, I talking from experience, I could lead you to the well with my mouth, and you could drink the water for a couple of days, and afterwards you say it's too much water. I want soda now. So what I'm saying is that what I think after a couple of days will make you happy. That ain't probably what that probably ain't what you want. So you might just keep switching on me, and for me, I may fool you and give you a couple of dollars at the beginning, and then I cut that off, and then you ain't want me no more. You want mine, and you ain't taking care of me. But the question is, you can't get it right because in love shouldn't be what you could give me. Love should be a natural thing that I like. The little children just say, "I put a chip in your head, and once I put a chip in your head, I just could program you all the time to do what I want you to do, and you do it." That's what love should be. That sounds crazy. You don't think it sounds crazy, but that's what it should be. You don't think so?
Chip in your head.
Yeah. I.
Uh, I would agree that love is a natural thing.
Mhm,
Um, I heard the phrase love is what love does.
mhm,
But I personally believe that when an individual focus on what they do for someone else, it is loving the fact because when you love, it has a what they call a circuit that when I give you love, it makes me feel good. Um, and when I receive love from you, it makes me feel good and it should make you feel good. But it has to do, like you say, with I guess the basic understanding of what it means to truly love.
mhm,
Um, Loving another individual comes natural. There is the physical attraction, there is the gentleness, there is the understanding, there is the openness. And when these aspects are missing from a connection with an individual or in a relationship, It means that there are critical elements that is missing. And when the element is missing, then the individual begins to search, they begins to long, and they begin to express what it is that they desire from the other individual. The question is, do we listen? Do we hear what makes the other individual happy? Because the chip that you put in someone's head has to be a chip that matches the missing piece of the puzzle. Every individual's life is like a puzzle, it's like a map. You're on a journey to happiness. Yes, we create our happiness, but it is a shared experience. So when I express what it is that makes me happier, because my happiness should not depend solely on the individual that I am in a relationship with. But that individual, I expect naturally that because you love me, your desire is to augment my happiness.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are distracted in relationship by roles and responsibilities that are socially prescribed. But is there a specific role for an individual, be it male or female? Or is it that we all have the ability to adapt and become what it is that makes the relationship work? Too often, I think people are too selfish and they're one sided, focused on themselves. So you could call it egotistical, you could call it self centered, selfish. But at the end of the day, what are we doing? Why are we connected to another individual if it's not to get it right?
Hmm. Let me say this to you. Most people,
Deep.
most people in relationship today don't love one another. There's no deep rooted love. There's no I will take a bullet for you. Um, Young people do that. Old people and people above certain age, they're used to you. They put up with you. I didn't marry you now, so I might as well stick here. And you wonder why young people, and especially in the church, always want to get married quickly because they want to have sex. They ain't wanna. They ain't wanna have relationship because society builds this this thing that, oh, you can't have sex because
You're not married.
you're not married. So they go get married because that's what they will have sex because sex is a natural thing and they want to have sex. So they go get married. And then they have to live this lie or live this because of society and the church. You got to understand. And you got to understand, this is crazy to me because your whole life now is now built on what people do, what the church do. You got to come every Sunday. You got this every Sunday. You can't skip no Sunday because you didn't got to go on the board and you got to, and you got, and it's like kind of crazy, right? You could serve God better being single,
But you got to stay away from sex.
right? But sex is a natural thing. The catch 22, right? So,
You
and you have
know,
this on. Mm-hmm.
I am I was sidetracked by your statement you could serve God better as a single individual.
Mm-hmm.
That is a teaching that I don't think is accurate.
Okay.
But it is found, it is something that the Apostle Paul admonished, right? He
Mm-hmm.
said, you know, but not everyone was born to be single. He suggested that it is possible, and it is, right?
Okay. All right. Let
But
me answer your
at the end
questions.
of the day, is
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
being interpreted accurately by the church today
The
that
problem, the
if
pro-
you are
Mhm.
married, you cannot serve God as effectively as somebody who is single?
You can serve God married, but realize you have all these other things to do. A single person, they have nobody, no children, they can serve God a day and night, every day, go everywhere.
They can serve the church, not God.
No, God. See, watch
No,
this. Watch
no,
the
no.
problem. Okay, fine. I agree with you. Hold on, let me say my piece, then we can discuss this because I just going deep. The Bible. See, here we go. And I don't want you to take this off.
Can we get
Anybody
it
take
right?
I don't want nobody to take this out of context. I is a creature of what I read.
Of what you,
Read. Some people could read things and mix it up. Because I can have an opinion.
we
You
all
can,
do. It's
yeah,
all
okay.
about perspective.
But this is what I read. This is what I read in the Bible. See, don't get it mixed up. This is what I read, and you can tell me if I ain't read it. The wheat and the tare, the good and
Grow
bad,
together, yes.
the rich and the poor, all these things will be with us always. So the Bible is telling you there's going to be sinners, there's going to be Christians, but it's better to do this. Okay, that's what the Bible say, right? So the Bible set the guideline that some people is going to grind before marriage. That's just life. And so you cannot add and take away what you think because it's written.
It is written, but
Mm-hmm.
is there an addition or is there interpretation?
Right. But where most people go in, and most people in the Bible who goes to church and most people who's Christians believe, they believe in that everybody should be a Christian. It ain't
So
happening in my lifetime.
basically,
It ain't happening in your lifetime. So let's go back to what's in front of us in the world. What's in front of us now? What we want to strive for everybody to be a Christian. We want to strive for everybody to do good. The Bible will tell you it ain't the world come to end and it ain't happening. So we now gotta accept the truth. The truth. 90% of the people goes to church, they're emotionally filled. That's what they get. They're emotionally filled. They don't they that's all emotional and all that. That's what's causing the church to go left. The church has to be pretty, plan every Sunday to keep the people in the church. Has nothing to do with they come for their soul and their salvation. They only go there because it's nice to go there. I feel good. I feel as a Christian, but there's nothing the harden of your heart. And I don't want to preach on that song, but could we get it right? And so when I speak about singleness, when a single person stay straight up and stay in the line, they devoted to God. I'm telling you,
And when a married person do, what who they devoted to?
The married person devoted to the pastor most time. They will never say to you what God said. They say, boy, the pastor was hot today. Hey, see, tradition. My mother used to go to
There we
church.
go.
Yeah, my mother used to go to church, so I go into church. That's all that is. And so, what had happened when something happened in the church, and some breakup or some, we get so all emotional about it. Where you been? All them things gotta happen. Why you have some different religion? Because same thing. They having all confusion, and this one go break off and open a church and open your own church, and this one. That's what. See. Don't get this
So the
mixed.
question
Hmm?
is there a right way?
Yeah, there is a right way. There is a right way. The right way is you be honest and true with yourself. That's the right way.
Okay.
Not any other people,
Basically,
any other.
I would add one thing to that.
Mhm.
As guided by the Holy Spirit.
Yes, but you go.
Because
You will see something. You will see
go
something.
ahead.
You will see
Mhm.
something. Listen to what I say. Good. I hope when this tape finish, people listen to this. You will see something. Let's run a census on the church. Let's say we can sit down, everybody in the church, every individual as they come out, and we can have and we're gonna interview them. And when you finish, I could bet everybody tell you they love the Lord. Everybody say they're Christian. Everybody say they live right. But guess what? When you do a real interview, every probably one of those Christian owe somebody. They ain't pay their bill and they ducking somebody. Majority of them. How you could be Christian? You Christian jump up in church wearing your dress, but you check the little things. Yeah, they can pray hard. Yeah, they can come to church. Yeah, they can be nice. Yeah, they. But you go down to little things. How you treating your husband home in the house? How you treating your children? Did you pay the fellow who lend you some money? The- See, these are see all of the lineup. So you and I'm not knocking Christians. I'm not. That's not my job here today. I am talking about what we started about getting it right. And what we're talking about is that it is not right. We're talking about if a single person could serve the Lord better or serve the Lord better than the married. The problem we have is here the marriage is only the cover up to have sex, basically, to have some children, have sex, and to say you have a husband. But you, woman, you don't even treat your husband right. You don't have no respect for him. You don't you, you don't honor his vision. Let me give you another story. Even in your house, your man asking for sex, you don't get it. You got to go on the outside. See, all this is big Christian woman. You got to be a Christian straight across the board. Now, talk about the man. Man, they're doing foolishness. I agree. We can talk about that too. But be honest. We has we not gonna get it right because we have so many people who want to live a certain life but don't have the qualities to live that life. They don't have no quality to live that life.
What do you mean by that?
You won't say you're a Christian. You won't be amongst the Jews, but you're a Gentile. I confuse you. Yeah, I know.
I think
You won't be a, you won't
personally,
be, you,
let
you,
me
you
let
won't be.
me let me
I can
say
close on this. I can close on this. And I can let you talk. You can have the whole show afterwards. I ain't gonna say no more. I close.
how time
You,
was gone.
I straighten this out. You want to be a Christian, so you go amongst the people to spoil the patch. You get there, you's a sweetheart out. You go amongst them, good people, to spoil them. That's what you do. You going, hi Christian, and you sleeping with this one husband and sneaking around. You go on whole change the whole culture in the church. You come there and you change the whole culture. One person could do it, you know. One woman, one man. Change it. But watch this. This is where I can close. So you as an individual comes in, you don't want to take care of your husband at home in the house. Because money. You don't want to do over here. You don't want to be with these set of people because they drink rum. You don't hang out with these people because they tell the truth. So what you do, you become conniving and very disruptive. So last but least, and this is the big one, people living out their lane. You're trying to be bougie, but you know you ain't got no money. You're trying to do politics, and you ain't got no people skill. So everywhere you go, you messing up. You are messing up a bunch of people. You know who you are. When I talk about you, I talk about most people do this. Most Bahamian live above their mean today. You know you only can afford rice. Why are you there one weekend buying salmon? We need to get it right. And that's where we, right there, that's where we go wrong because we out of our lane. All of us is do it. Could we get it right? That's my 5 cents. You could talk. I tell you, I ain't say no more. You go.
Okay, Tony, and I'm not going to say anything because our time has exceeded, but I think in our next segment on Wednesday, we're going to look at living within your lane.
Oh Lord, why you start that
Live
shit?
within your lane because you opened up a new
Pandora
topic,
box?
a new I don't even know how to phrase this
See, it's
particular one,
people.
but anyhow, you
I,
open up a new kettle of fish.
when I come back Wednesday, just what I can do. Start from the top. It's cheaper to boil your head because it only costs you $10 than trying to get all this bread in here and all this bread in here. Don't be like a little girl. And the bread dirty and nasty. So that's where we can be. People live out of their lane. People
Yeah.
live out of their character.
Okay, so
Anyway, folks, it's Mel and Dooney. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7:15 under the tree. That's where we meet. And it's all but love. And if you can't get it right, call us up, hit us up under the tree chat, and we will have a discussion. Mel is a doctor, so you get your health right. Watch this now. Mel
a
also
medical doctor.
nutrition,
But
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
prevention
Prevention nutrition.
is my
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
And also she's a what? Shopkeeper, whatever it is. She's a lifestyle coach, well trained, went and certified. So if your lifestyle is not adding up, Mel specialize in this lifestyle coach. She will get you right. And so you can hit her up right under the tree, chat, text, WhatsApp, whatever, email is right there in the chat, and you can get her, and she'll carry you through a process on the class setting, and she'll get you right. So if you watch what I can say to you folks, if you feeling sick and your sickness is not real sickness, it might be your lifestyle. Most times we think we sick. No, sometimes be our lifestyle. We got too much things on our mind. We got too much things going on. We eating bad. We just Mel is an expert in this area, and so it's under the tree chat. Hit her up and let her work with you to get your mind and your health back in order. I seen it done. I thought it was crazy. I thought this when I first heard about this life coach. I thought that was craziness. See it right there. You tell me, you're wasting your time. I seen it happen to people after some classes or session. I seen people life just come right back together. So Monday, Wednesday, right here under the tree. Mel and Tony. Good
Take
day.
care, everyone.